today's video, we will be talking about regret and knowledge. A lot of times you will look back on past situations and you will see it from a different view, a different angle. You'll see it from what you've already learned, and you'll realize that those decisions you made at the very beginning were bad decisions if you had just known the information that you know now.
I've been single my entire life, and I've never had anybody love me or desire me or want to be with me. And I have so much love that I feel like that is inside of me with nowhere to go because it can't transfer to friends or my family or my parents because it's something separate, it's something different. And I've gathered all of this love since I was in high school, and then it just sits there and it eats me alive sometimes. And I'm bringing this up, oh my gosh, I just slammed my hand off of that. Sorry, I'm bringing this up because I'm lonely and sad and the world is hard and horrible. And I was thinking this morning that no one's laid next to me in bed. I've never had the comfort of someone's arms around me. When I've had difficult moments, I've gotten through them by myself most of the time. Now I have a beautiful family of brothers and my mother and my dad when he was alive, and I love them. I'm grateful for them. But there's something different about having somebody that's there for you, next to you, with you, and it's a different kind of loneliness.
I don't know what this woman is going through. However, I can tell you that there are millions of women that deal with this, where they say that they've never experienced a relationship, they've never been romantic with anyone, and this is very unfortunate. I'm not sure what these women are doing. If you look a little bit deeper into their past, you'll see that during their early 20s and even I would say their late 20s to even their early 30s, they are concentrating on their careers, they're concentrating on other things, and that's perfectly fine. I have never talked against any of this. I think that as a human, you should be able to do whatever you want to do in any capacity you want to do it, as long as you are not hurting someone else. However, women soon realize that whenever they choose the very beginning years of their adulthood, concentrating on their careers, concentrating on other things other than what naturally comes to a woman, which personally I think that is being a mother, nurturer to your potential children. I think that that is natural for a lot of women to want to do, because whenever they don't take that opportunity in the very beginning, it is toward the end when they are in their 40s, 50s, and even as this video you can see in this clip, you can see in your 60s, where these women are now, they are looking back and realizing how lonely their entire life has been. Again, it's very unfortunate, but also there's no doubt in my mind that this woman wouldn't have gotten some sort of date or attention from some sort of men if she would have just been concentrating on possibly putting herself out there more. I don't know what her situation is. A lot of women just turn down men if they are just not attracted to them at all. They hold out for that perfect man, that perfect experience, but those really don't exist. That is a way of thinking that you have to hold out for this perfect situation, this perfect person, and that's really not how any of this works. You don't have a soulmate, you don't have any of this. All you really have is an opportunity to possibly find someone that you can have fun with, that you can spend time with, and that someone that doesn't make you completely miserable. Thank you.
Fooled me once. Shame on you. It fooled me. We can't get fooled again.
That there are people who get this. There are people who follow me that get this. But I was thinking about it in terms of just bigger worldly issues as well. The fear of the world and the difficulties that we are seeing. And again, this is minuscule on the level of what some people are facing. But it doesn't mean that it's nothing, and I have to figure out how to deal with these feelings. But the idea that I don't go home and somebody's there to talk with and cook dinner with, and I have a roommate, but we do our own things, we have our own lives, and again, it's not the same. And I'm always told sometimes as a single person that it's not easier on the other side, and So I guess I just wanted to say to people, get this feeling that you're not alone. And I know that it's difficult, but I also know that there's a certain type of strength that has been developed that I have because of my experiences in my life that has led me to be able to do difficult things. And it's difficult being alone. It's okay to feel lonely, and it's okay for it to feel hard and scary. So just know that you're not alone, and know that I see you and I'm there with you. And I'm still seeking to find ways to make it easier for myself. And I really, really do wish to make it easier for others. So if you're lonely, know that I'm sorry, and know that I'm sitting in the lonely with you.
Oh, shit.
Again, like I said before, this is a very sad situation, but I must also point out that there are possibly 10 times the amount of men that are dealing with this exact same issue. And in previous videos, I have said that men are perfectly fine alone. A lot of men today, a lot of modern men are looking around and seeing the types of women that are out there for them to possibly try to get into a relationship with or try to be with. And it is just a very bad situation all around. You just don't want to even be around these women, honestly. So these men, even though they are lonely or whatever the situation might be, these men are completely content with being by themselves. And the reason I say that, and a lot of you might say, oh, well, you're just making an assumption because, what if they're not okay with it? Well, they're not on TikTok making these lonely videos. And I have seen several of these types of videos where these women are just in their 60s, 70s, and they are just complaining about being alone. They're complaining that they don't have anybody. That I'm not trying to laugh at them. It's definitely a sad situation. But if that woman were to put herself out there, she could definitely find somebody. She doesn't have to be lonely. And you guys know what I'm talking about. She is choosing to be lonely because she's not taking the steps she needs to take in order to find her someone. Because there is, for any woman out there, I have a very good belief that for any woman out there, as long as she's able to put herself out there and isn't 100% just horrible to be around, she will find herself a match. She will find herself a man. A lot of these situations are made by the person that is making the videos. And a lot of these situations are usually created by the people we see in these videos. It's not created by an outward source. Now, you might see this woman in this video and say, okay, well, she's pretty normal looking. She's not super attractive or anything. She's just average, maybe a little below average, whatever. And she's not getting any dates. She's not trying to date. She's not trying to do anything. Well, let's take a look at this next video. And this woman, obviously, she's a lifelong dater. She's been around the block a few times. Let's hear what she has to say about her experience being a 60+ woman.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
This is an absolute deal breaker, dating in my 50s. And I don't really care if you keep coming at me in the comments like, you're so old, you should settle on this. I will never settle for a guy who's done this. What's so about it, it's like all the men who do this have gathered in a room and come up with the same spin. They're the victim. The justice system has wronged them. Their ex-wife is crazy. So many guys have confessed this to me over our first coffee date, which I guess I'm very grateful for because you're showing me who you really are. If you're a deadbeat dad and not making child support payments, I want absolutely nothing to do with you. I hear it so often that I finally checked up on one guy who was, and I want absolutely nothing to do with you. I hear it so often that I finally checked up on one guy who was making this claim that it was all his ex-wife's fault. You know what? After I get back home, I'm going to check out his story. I'm going to hop online to the state court database. I found his case. His ex-wife wasn't crazy. The state was coming after him for not making payments. I'm not wrong on this. If you're a parent, you should be paying for your children. There aren't enough excuses in the world to convince me otherwise. But if you think I'm up in the night, tell me why.
It never was supposed to be. Why isn't it possible? It's just not. Why not, you stupid bastard?
So here we have a woman. I know you guys don't come at me. She says she's in her 50s. This woman is 59. Okay, guys, so she's 60. Now, I'm not going to be splitting hairs here about age, but if you're 59, basically 60. We're not going to be playing this game where, oh, I'm still in my 50s. I'm sorry, you're a very seasoned 60-year-old here, ma'am. We're not going to be having this conversation. However, let's talk about her choice in men. Why is she choosing men that aren't making child support payments? Why is she choosing to date these men? I don't know. I'm not sure why she's doing this, but a lot of women really make the same decision over and over again, and they really don't know why. And a lot of times they don't learn the lesson. Being an adult, and a large portion of the people that watch my channel are within my age range, which is in my 30s. I will tell you one thing, I've learned a lot of lessons in life, and there are just a lot of things that I am not going to learn again. Once you learn those lessons, you don't want to learn them again. I can promise you that. But that's not necessarily the case with a majority of women, especially women on TikTok here. So she's obviously online dating. And I'm going to be honest with you, I really don't see a sort of vast difference between these two types of women here. They kind of seem like they could both get dates, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I honestly think for a majority of men, as long as you have a decent personality and you're not brain rot from constantly being on TikTok or Facebook, and you can hold a decent conversation and you're just not terrible to be around, I think you could pretty much get any average guy. Unless one of your red flags is not paying child support payments, which I am going to go ahead and vouch for a lot of these men, where a lot of times the court system, they do mess up and they have these child support payments that are completely outrageous, and then there's a lot of instances where they might be too low. I don't really know the situation with a lot of this. All I can tell you is that please wear the adequate protection in those times, and make sure that these women are not crazy. Obviously, you want to make sure these women are not crazy, and protect yourself, protect your assets. And that actually goes along with stuff like child support, stuff like alimony. Whenever you start making these payments to the courts are always taking their cut, obviously. So you're not only paying the mom, you're also paying the government. You are giving money to everyone except yourself, and that is just that's not a good situation for a man to be in when you don't even have control of your own money. So take care of yourself, gentlemen. Watch out there, and I'll catch you guys later. Rat Boy out.